finally are there. We're that last week. The gladiators have been battling. Three will be sacrificed. They will not make the playoffs. One of them, he's already been killed. Our poor man P Funk. We still love you, buddy.
He
Um,
fought hard.
yeah, you gotta fight hard. You gotta fight hard in the Coliseum, dude. But we're here.
Who
Some
will
of
be Russell
us.
Crowe? Sorry.
Right?
Who will
Exactly.
be Russell Crowe?
Exactly. Who will be our Russell Crowe and be our King Gladiator?
Oh my God. I just watched that movie, by the way. Amazing.
Oh,
It's such an underrated movie.
Dude, right? It should be
it's
watched at least twice a year.
Are
For
you not
emotion.
entertained? Is this not what
it's
you
a
came
long
for?
ass movie to do
It's not
that.
It
long,
is.
bro.
It is.
Father to a murdered son, husband to a
Oh,
murdered wife,
don't start quoting those beautiful lines
and
here,
I will
buddy.
have my vengeance in this life or the next. Oh my gosh.
I definitely wouldn't watch it tired though, because like it's you get the couple fight scenes, but otherwise it's kind of like a low key
Oh yeah,
like
it's a slow burn.
dialogue movie. So like, and then especially since it's so long, so like if you're tired, don't watch it because you will fall asleep at some point in those 2.5, 3 hours, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That
But
is
but it's a
100%
great
true.
movie. Yeah, it's a great movie though. But yeah, man, it's
Well,
yeah,
let's
we're
go
finally
over
at
some
the
of
end.
our scenarios, dude. I fucking want to
Oh,
know what's
these
going on.
playoff scenarios. So I was talking to Craig here before you came on, B Man, about this website that we heard on the fantasy footballers here. And it's actually really cool. Simple website. You put in your league and stuff like that, and it gives you your play. It can give you your playoff odds.
Drop
You
the
can
drop the website. What's the website again? Do you
uh
remember?
the FF Hub. So like fantasy football, the ffhub.com. And it gives you power rankings, and you can do a schedule comparison too, which I think will be fun here to kind of dabble with in a second. But yeah, so for these playoff scenarios, Mac has already locked up the number one seed. He's not going to be any lower. He gets the bye week, so he
He
gets that
did.
too.
He did.
Yeah, yeah, because if Justin is like
Um, I,
200 points
s-
behind him,
I
so
saw Mac cheering this morning. That makes sense. Congratulations.
yeah, yep. So even if Justin beats him, he can't win, and even if he loses and Dan wins, Dan can't touch him in points for. Um, so yeah, he's in. Justin, he's 100% to make the playoffs. Obviously, he can finish second, third, or fourth are his places he could finish. And I laid out all these scenarios in the group chat. So I'm not going to sit here and explain how they can get each scenario. But second, he's 50% to get that. Third, 33%, and fourth, 16%. Dan, same thing. He can get second to fourth. He's more likely to get second or third with a 43% chance for third or second, 44% chance for third, 12 for fourth. Shane, same thing. Second through fourth. He only has a 6% chance to get second, though. He needs a lot of love for second. Um, Third, he's 22.91, and then fourth, he's 70. So Shane's kind of, I don't want to say locked into the fourth spot, but that's his most likely scenario. And then um, you, Craig, you could finish fifth to seventh. But we kind of talked like you're most likely not going to finish sixth, especially if Nate wins. Because if Nate wins, whoever loses between you and B Man
Maybe
here, yeah, fall to seventh. Because Nate's got you guys in the points for.
we made it, Bren. We made it.
Well,
It's been a
Brent's
long battle.
so this says Bren's 100%, but I would put that at 99.9%. Because there is a way that Bren could miss the playoff. And I mean, technically Craig too, but Craig is so I'm behind you or Bren by 80 points. So all I need to do is put up like, 180 and you
Yeah.
put up like a 90 burger
Mm-hmm.
and you lose, I win,
Easy. Done.
and I would take seventh and,
That is
Nate
not out
would
of the realm of possibility when you have
right.
CeeDee Lamb and McCaffrey. That's for
Exactly. So
sure.
that's why I said it's like a 99.9% chance you won't miss the playoffs, B man. But there's that, there's a chance. So you're not 100, but
Dude, I just put up like 80 points the last 3 weeks. It could happen. It could happen to
Yeah.
anybody.
And with
okay.
Insane.
fantasy football and the way it is, it's like that means it's going to, right? Like
I know, dude.
when the worst possible thing could happen, it happens.
You're
So
right.
real quick, I was about to punch many holes in my wall last night. Like I
That's
was
crazy.
I was getting so pissed. I'm like 35. I'm up, or 34, whatever it was. I'm up 34. Mixon's got a backup QB in. Jacksonville's got a solid defense, not like a great one, but I'm like, they're going to stymie this. He'll get like 10, 15 points, whatever. Halftime comes, he has fucking 20 points. I'm like, what is going on? And then, like, I thought I was safe, right? Because I was like, oh, Jacksonville went down. I was like, or no, Bengals, they took the lead 31-28. And then I was like, sweet, that's it. There's no way that Jacksonville, now they have their backup in. I'm like, there's no way they're going to drive down and tie this thing. So what do? They drive down and tie it, right? And I'm like,
Crazy.
okay, this is great. Overtime, that's what I need. And of course, there's 26 seconds left in the quarter. And what is it? Fucking Joe Mixon rips off a 20-yard run. I'm like, are you kidding me? And
He's
then
the
the very next
ball.
and then the very next play, he gets a catch for like 2 yards. I'm like, he's gonna get it, but like, what is going on? And then overtime comes, and I think Craig's down like 9 at this point or something. And overtime comes, Jacksonville gets the ball. I'm like, great, game's over. I'm safe. It's 3rd and long. Jacksonville throws that little like Hail Mary kind of pass, and Calvin really catches it, comes down, and then whoop, here comes a flag holding. I'm like, oh my god. Dude,
Why were you watching that game? You should have turned it off, bro.
I
You were
did, and
probably
then
the reason Joe Mixon played so well. If you wouldn't have watched it, he would have got like 10 points.
well, no,
Right.
that's the funny part was though is like I checked every once in a while, but I wasn't really like watching it. I just checked, on Sleeper or whatever every once in a while, and then Gabriella wouldn't sleep for a little bit. So Melanie was taking care of her, and I was up. So I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna watch it." And then it was like that last like half a quarter when all this hectic shit was going on, and I was like, "So help me God, if I get eliminated from the playoffs when Craig is missing half his team, I quit." Like, this is ridiculous. I fucking quit.
What's
Craig,
crazy? Did you see that 1 yard that the QB ran in a touchdown in 1 yard too? Like if Joe Mixon gets that touchdown, bro, it's over.
right? Yeah, yeah. There was a couple close ones there.
Ramondre
But
Stevenson doesn't get eaten up. So many injuries this year, boys. It's
oh, for
insane.
sure. If I was thinking
Insane.
that earlier today, that if Ramondre didn't get hurt, I would have lost anyway. So I got lucky on
That's fancy football, baby. You
yeah,
won.
on
All that
that
matters.
on
All
that
that matters.
aspect. But yeah, the winner of you two takes fifth place. So you guys don't need anything else. Just you take fifth place. If Nate wins, the loser drops down to seventh. So Craig, you have a 57.26% chance of getting fifth, 19% for sixth, and 24 or 23% for seventh. B Man, you got 42 for fifth, 25 for sixth, and 31.6 for seventh. And then Nate has a 54% chance for sixth and 30 for seventh. I have a 12% chance for seventh. All I need is Nate to lose and I win and I'm in. Or the unlikely scenario, of Bren losing, Nate winning, and then I outscore Bren by 80 plus points. um, there is Barber, L7 Weenie. He has a 2.51% chance to make the playoffs. So
Oh
he's not dead yet.
shit. Oh
He's
shit.
he's not dead yet.
Dude got screwed so hard, man. Has the
Dude.
best player in fantasy next to McCaffrey.
Right. Well, dude, let's look. So let's look at the schedule comparison on how things would have turned out. Craig, whose schedule would you like to know? Like what your record would be with their schedule?
If I played Dan's schedule, what would my record be?
All right, Dan's schedule. Where are you?
God, I hope this doesn't boost his ego more.
The fallen stack. You would be 8-5, the same as
Woo!
his record. Yep.
Oh, baby. I like that. This is a good website we found.
The funny part is,
What would he be if he played my schedule? You should check that.
yeah. Yep. Let me check that real quick. He would be 6-7 if he played your schedule.
That's
Um,
that's what I am.
and to this doesn't like include factor in injuries or anything that just goes strictly off what your team scored that
Yeah.
team scored whatever. For Dan's schedule, everybody but me, Funk, and I think it was Bren. Where was the other one? Yeah, me, Funk, and Bren are the only ones that would have losing records with Dan's schedule. Everyone else is pretty much like 8-5, 9-4. Uh, Barber would be 10-3 with Dan's schedule.
That's
I
hilarious.
That is
so
wild.
do,
Oh man.
so you want to hear his like his records with everyone else's schedule, like
Obviously.
so Dan's he's 10-3.
Poor Dan.
Uh, with mine he's 6-7,
Mm-hmm.
so a little better. With Funk's he's 9-4. With yours, Craig, he's 6-7.
Mm-hmm.
With Shane's, he's 7-6. With Justin's, he's 8-5. Nate Dogg's, he's 6-7. His own 4-9. Max 6-7, and then Bren's 8-5. So if he literally, and this is where like I get it, you can only play who you play, but it's also very lucky on who you play when you play them, because that just shows if he play any other schedule, he's in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it shows that he's got a pretty good team.
He's got sounds like 10. He's got a couple 10 wins in there with some of those schedules. He's scoring a bunch of points. We should
being
I'm curious what like the Goliaths, like Mac. I'm curious what Mac's schedule. How hard was Mac's schedule? Someone
um
should do that.
yeah, I'll do it. Who do you want me to just compare it to everybody's?
Just Bren and you. If you and Bren had
Okay.
Mac's schedule, what would you be?
So I would be 4-9, so
Okay.
one game worse, and then B Man would be 6-7.
Okay, it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so I thought Mac had some bigger matchups this year.
Yeah,
That's
B
good.
Man. If your worst record would be if you had Barber's schedule, you'd be 3-10. Um, your best schedule would be if you had Craig's schedule, you'd be 8-5.
Fucking with Brent.
Uh,
Fucking up.
and and then let's see here. Where are you, Craig? I want to see your best. You're right here. All right. See your so if you had Dan's schedule or Funk's schedule or Justin's schedule, all those are your best record at 8-5. Those
For sure.
three,
For sure.
and then yours is pretty much even. Like you're five and
Mm-hmm.
eight if you had my schedule, 6-7. Well, that's your own schedule. 5-8 with Shane, 7-6, 6-7. So I mean, your worst is if you had Brent's schedule, you're 4-9.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been pretty middle
So
of the pack.
yeah,
Middle of
so
the
I
pack.
mean, yours would have been pretty close. For me, I'm kind of the same thing. Um, I'm not five. I don't have a 500 record with anyone's schedule. The worst one is Shane's though at 3-10. Otherwise, my best would be if I had Justin's schedule, I'd be 6-7. Everything else is either 4-9 or 5-8. And then they also have this other cool thing about like if you scroll down past that on this website of your weekly record against all the other teams. So like for example, week one, um, Mac he had the most points, so he would have been 9-0 that week. He wouldn't have lost to anybody um, that week. So you can go week by week and see like how you do and stuff. Mac 9-0, 9-0, 7-2, a 1-8 in there. Other than that, he has so many more. Most points. 1, 2, 3,
So this
4.
is a website you go to when you want to get really upset. Wish you could, live in the fairy tale land of make believe.
Or the
Because
opposite, right? Because we're like Mac, this would be where you go to fucking jerk off.
this is where you go to masturbate to your team
Right?
100%,
Yeah.
dude. So
Right?
many
He's like
fucking
90
points
no.
scored.
90 no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty so it's pretty cool, that website. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think this is the first year where like everybody except for Funk, so 9 out of the 10 teams are still in it. Like normally we have maybe one person is fighting for 7th place or something like that, but most of the time we have pretty much the playoffs team set by now, you know. And there's
Do
still
I
so
fire
much
up
that can
Craig right
happen.
now, dude?
Do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
let's add that asinine idea of trading draft picks and fucking ruin our fucking
Oh,
Yeah.
league.
Go
I
ahead and
wasn't
clip this,
gonna
Brad.
bring it up.
Go ahead and clip this for 3 years from now when we can trade draft picks. And we finally are like, oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, Craig's the crazy one. Whatever. Multiple leagues do it successfully. They have multiple rules
Oh,
in
they're
place to
crazy.
prevent.
Are they dynasty
No,
leagues or are they like
So
no,
right,
no. There's a lot of rules you can put in place so it's not like super like again, like if you really wanted to get into it, which we don't have to because this is one of those things, but I know there's things you can put in place so like one guy doesn't have like 20, 10 picks in the first 5 rounds and shit like that. Like there's no way you have that many players you can trade and that many players that would agree. But I'm sure there are. I don't. There's going to be instances that we won't foresee that are going to be probably terrible scenarios. So I get the
right,
hesitation. I just don't think. I think it's easier to say that we're just not quite there yet. Again, the Fab system, I think, is like Dan mentioned. If we introduce Fab
yeah,
with a budget and then maybe be able to trade Fab, that would be a good indicator of maybe how people would progress in the draft picks. So
sure.
we'll
right.
see.
And
I
I
agree.
like the issue I had with your argument, Greg, was you like when you were saying kind of like that. Oh, the scenario where someone like is so unfathomable, and like okay, maybe yeah, that exact amount is unfathomable, but like it's not unrealistic though, because like you don't know if someone. So like, say I trade, I don't know, someone for a second round pick earlier in the year because someone else believes in them, I don't, whatever. And then
Sure.
I go and trade 2 first round picks or second round picks, sorry, for Christian McCaffrey. That automatically get like it's not unreasonable to think that someone might have multiple second round picks or a second and third to trade someone for it, where that is what allows someone to kind of monopolize in those first like 5 rounds when all the good players are. So then that's when you start getting the lopsidedness. Like it's not
Well,
totally unfathomable.
I'll throw you a different scenario, right? Because like, let's
Mm-hmm.
say people can control their like draft pick, give up and receiveth bullshit. Um,
Yeah, that's fair.
let's say this year, right? Like Josh, you were just like convinced like I'm not gonna outscore Brennan by 80, and I don't even think I'm gonna win. So
Right.
you trade Christian McCaffrey to, I don't know, say Mac, and he goes, I'll give you my next year's second. He almost guarantees himself the win this year. Like it's not handed to him, but like if he makes
Right.
that move, one other move, like he can buy himself that championship if he so wishes. Whereas our league, we have been where like if you make it to the dance floor, you have a chance, and I think that's
Right.
kind of cool. Um, so that's where like some of my hesitation was coming from. I kept seeing that scenario in my head over and over, where it's just like, oh, great, not gonna win this year. Someone just decided to make that move.
Everyone tanks the same time some mega team gets a good play. Oh fuck, it's over. I
Yes.
fucking
Well,
dead.
So you know
and
you
that's the
just have
thing.
like
Justin and Mac are just buying up all the players with all their draft picks
yes,
so they can just go 1-on-1.
yes,
But see, that's like the other part of it though too is
Uh,
in Brent's scenario, who knows? Mac might not be the only one.
yeah,
That's to where then it creates a bidding war, and then it goes to
good
like how
point.
many can we trade how many years in advance? You know what I mean? To where like, and then if you're trading multiple of the next, even if it's only next year, if you're trading multiple of those picks, like Brent said, you're selling out for this year, but then you're almost guaranteeing yourself a loss next year because, yeah, okay, say we have to even it out where I give him like a 16th and a 15th for, you know, his second and third or whatever. Like, that's that makes things a lot more lopsided for one team. It's not going to do it for the whole league necessarily, but then it kind of creates, I mean, I guess a super team in a way, just because if I have more second and third round picks than everyone else, that's all the better players. You would think, obviously,
So
it doesn't always work out that way.
I don't disagree with anything you guys are saying. I understand the hesitation. I understand that concern.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a chance that does pop up. I think that's part of what everyone has to fight against, though. I don't think it's just going to be. I think there's multiple scenarios that could occur. That being one of them. And this is what I'll say about the horde of top draft picks. I think statistically, if you would look at percentages, I'm sure you have a higher percent chance of hitting on a player if they're in a top round. But I think if you went back and looked at our draft board right now, and you took all the top 5 picks, and it'd probably be interesting to see how many of them have fallen. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't guarantee you. It doesn't guarantee you can get 5 first round picks and you can have 4 busts. You know what I'm saying? I know it's less likely, but it does add complexity to the game.
It does.
I understand though not wanting to deal with those situations, and I guarantee you with that, some people don't find those situations fun, and that's fine. I get it.
Right. Well, yeah, because
I would
like I
love to see
said,
a Miami Heat, LeBron. I would love to see it, whatever year that was. I'd love to see, and then have them be shit the next year. Even better, have them sustain 2 injuries or 1 injury, and
right.
then they're screwed next year.
Yeah.
But they have to find a way. But all of a sudden, that team gets screwed. Gets Chan and Addison in the 9th and the 5th, and all of a sudden they're balling out the next year. I don't know. You are correct.
You're not wrong.
You are correct. It could
Right.
put people in the hole, and if we don't have enough people that want to participate with getting out of a hole, that would suck.
I like that word there that you said.
Well,
Participate with getting out of the hole would be real.
Like Nathan mentioned, he doesn't want to. He said I don't want to do that. That's like too much managing, which I get. Like I
Yeah.
get.
Well,
Like, we
and
do a
that's
lot
the thing,
already.
and that's why I love Bren's idea of like maybe not for money, but just like doing a side league where we have these rules so people can get some experience. Because that's the thing too. Like, I don't think people would necessarily like understand the hole they're putting themselves in by because like that, like I said earlier in the year, I'm like shit. Okay, yeah, there's 5 games left. I still could make the playoffs, but is it worth it at this point? Before I traded for CMCs, like, okay, do I trade Kamara? Like, you could easily see someone giving up 2 picks for Kamara, so like a second and a third or something like that. You know what I mean? And then if I was like, okay, then I'll just trade CD Lamb. That could be another 2 picks. Like,
You
where if
could
I
like
started,
lower that though. I mean, I think I don't know. You could find a way to count it so where I don't know where people can't tank so hard. Like maybe 1 player, 1 pick. You can't do like 3 picks for 1 player. Like you can minimize the casualties still by just kind of not
I
making
think,
it as like grand as like you're saying. Like maybe.
but I also think if we do that, where if we limit the amount of picks like you can give up or whatever, like I like that idea, but I feel like it would make it not much different than it is now because of where there's not much trading, because people aren't gonna be like, well, I don't want to give up a second this year, next year
Very true.
for only 1 second for Kamara or whatever. You know what I mean? So like it would. That's why I think it would be cool maybe to dabble with it in a side league where we're just kind of like getting our feet wet, see if we like it. Whatever.
I think again, the fab is probably the best way to see how much people have in terms of like how much they have remorse at the end of the year because I traded away my last 30 fab with Mostert to get Diggs or something, so.
Mm-hmm.
And then when some of us are all bitching about it, we know we won't want to do it.
Well, until like people
me
are going to learn.
I would bitch.
People are going to learn how to, and myself, because I've never done a fab league, but I've been wanting to for the last 2 years, but no one else has in our league, and so like just
excuse me.
Kind of the do you go all in on certain people, and it doesn't always work out if you go all in on a backup because the starter got hurt or whatever. You know what I mean? So
yeah, positive start to this year is how successful some of these teams like Nate and Mac have been. I think I don't know. Like I bet you, I'm very curious on Mac's thoughts on like is he upset that he hasn't got? Probably not, right? Because he scored a bunch. He's had a lot of healthy players. He hasn't really needed to capitalize on waivers, but he's been like the 10th, the whole 9th or 10th the whole year. I wonder if
Yeah,
that's
I
honest.
never really. I don't have sympathy for the people that are eighth, ninth, and tenth. They're like, I never get anybody on waivers because you don't need them, you douchebag. Like, shut up. Like,
I have too
jeez.
many wins. This is stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
I need
I
more
mean,
players.
the only person that has somewhat of a complaint, but then not because he still keeps winning, is Dan. Like, because he keeps getting injuries, but then he keeps getting lucky and either trading for people. Like, you can bash the Rashad White trade all you want, but he didn't start going off until the week after I traded him to Dan. That's when he started going off and became a top 8 running back. Like, if
True.
I knew he was going to be that, I would have asked for more from Dan, obviously. And then like that. Connor, fucking the last 5 weeks he played, he didn't have score more than 9 points. And then what has he scored last week when Dan uses him? 22 points. Like, like he
He's
keeps
got the
getting
green thumb,
lucky.
buddy. He's got the green
Right.
thumb.
Yeah, I mean, so like he it's good managing on his part because he's picking up and trading for these players and all that stuff, but it's also part luck too, like so I don't feel bad for him not getting waivers and stuff. And then Shane just sounded like a douchebag today with the whole IR thing. I am deserving of getting an IR spot because of blah 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 blah. It's like, no, dude. We've had this all year. People have been dealing with it. You didn't say shit. So
Yeah, shut
like
your mouth, Shaman Shane.
I
I
almost
had no
voted for him. I thought he made a compelling argument, and I almost voted for him.
I would have had more sympathy for him if he wasn't like, I'm deserving of it, you peasants. Like, no, shut up, dude. Like, get out of here. Well, if you want to play hardball, no, it's not playing hardball. It's the fact that we haven't done it all year. And now that something happens to you, you're like, hey, we should change this rule, Like, ridiculous. Uh, but yeah, so those are the playoffs. Well, obviously nothing's finalized until after this week, which is crazy. So, but we got some awards to go to, Craig.
Oh, yes, we do, boys. Is that what we're getting into? All right.
Yes, sir.
You all received a survey on Sunday afternoon. And I appreciate every single one of you for replying back to me. I think everyone replied back to me same day. One person texted me the next day, I think. I can't remember, but
That's still
regardless. All right, so we have 8 trophies here. We will mail them. We'll send them in the mail. So just send us your home address and social security, and we'll get those to you right away. Credit card information in case it has to come back.
Yeah,
Right,
we
right,
need
right.
all the information, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's start with the fun stuff. All right, let's start with the fun stuff. So, best name. Best name.
This was the one I was curious to hear who would win.
Yeah, so I will say this: everyone was not won by a large margin. This was very tight.
There was a
Everyone
lot
seemed
of
to.
name changes throughout the year.
Well, I was about to say that too. It's interesting which name was chosen because, like, yeah, a lot of people have changed their name. So I know I didn't specify like which name. I just said person. I can't remember if
Sure.
that person had changed it or not, but
Well, everyone seems to tickle each other's fancy because everyone kind of voted for everyone's favorite name, and it wasn't. It was again, it's a small margin. Brennan, you are the
Yeah.
winner of the Best Name Trophy 2023. Congratulations!
Let's go!
Yeah. Let's
You won with
go.
a staggering 3 votes.
Yes!
Dan was the next closest in second with 2 votes. So everyone else had like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 more votes out there for single names.
Gotcha.
So congratulations. All right, that leads us to our next category: worst team name. This one was much more consensus.
Much more of a gap, yeah.
Much more consensus of what they hated. And this is what I'll
Problematic.
say: no one appreciated the belt holders this year. We all got dogged. Josh was dogged the most. I'm sorry, Josh.
It doesn't shock me. I'm gonna get that a lot in these trophies. I know
Yeah.
that.
I was dogged the second most. I was right behind you with 3 votes. You had 5. 5 people voted for you to have the worst name. I was behind you at 3.
But which name is my worst name though? Or are they just saying everything I put is trash because
There was
it's
a
me?
multitude of answers I received on your name. Both, again, I received a specific one that said all 3 of the belt holders that were terrible. But I don't know, Josh. You're going to have to come up with yourself. I think you changed your name too many times. Too many name changes.
It's not my fault. It just means I'm doing my job and it gets under their skin like I want.
That's
So they're
fair.
like, I hate that. So I'm gonna keep doing it. So fuck all you.
Well, congratulations. You win worst team name.
Yes, can't
1
wait for
point.
that trophy.
All right, let's move right along here to trades. We had a lot of trades this year. They were very
Mhm.
interesting.
Hmm.
Another
Personally,
one
I'll
for
say,
me.
of all the ones that we need to change this next year so you have a 24-hour turnaround. These instant trades, malarkey, absolute malarkey. A
I
veto.
like them. I like it because then you could trade day of if you need to if an emergency happens. Like I like that.
That's fair. Okay, I don't mind it. I'm not gonna lie. I was just kind of I was seeing if I get a rise. No rises. We can keep it. It's fine. All right. So we'll start with the worst tradesman of the year. Again, this was a kind of a consensus. So there was three
Yeah.
names ringing a lot. I had to
Oh,
count up basically three names.
three
Oh wow, that
names.
shocks me.
I
Would
I
you
wasn't
thought it was
guys
gonna be
gonna
like
three.
Josh? Would you like to take a guess at these three names?
me.
Okay, that's one.
That's one. I'm trying to think of Shane.
That's two.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Funk.
Nope. Close.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Close.
that's good. So then would it I'm trying to think of who all made trades. Like would it be Dan?
I'll let you know here. So, the winner of the Worst Tradesman Award, with a staggering 5 votes, me being the tiebreaker, is Shane.
Oh, let's go.
Now,
Let's go.
Shane, you send out the worst trades. You have no
Oh, that
idea
makes
how to
sense.
value a player. It's insane.
Oh, I did say
Josh,
Shane.
Josh, this was
Yeah.
the tiebreaker. I voted Shane. You had 4 votes, so
Yeah.
a large majority of the league there. Two people don't like how Justin trades, so he was sitting down there in third. But Shane takes the award. Shane,
Well,
congratulations. You were the worst
Justin does
tradesman.
admit though that he values positions differently and stuff than other people, and I think that's probably differently than about 60% of the league or so. So I can see why like a lot of people don't like those trades. Yeah, I agree with Shane though.
I
I
think
mean,
if I
I
think
guess
this
I
is
don't know how people like valued it though. Was it trade offers or like
Yeah,
straight
see,
up trades?
that's what
so.
I was just thinking about.
Because like Shane sends out the worst offers, but like I think based on how trades have worked out this year,
Yeah.
mine were the worst. And I even voted for myself, people. So don't even
He did.
you know come at me about stuff. So I
He
voted for
did.
myself because of that. So that's why I was interested to see about how people kind of voted on it. Sorry.
If no, you're fine. If Debo doesn't get injured either, I think if Justin's trades go the other way, that's looking a lot different. But again, I
Well,
think that comes from the value of like his one QB value. I'm assuming the way he values QBs, but
yeah, and he hasn't been
regardless,
able to use Ken Walker either.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If those two trades don't screw him as hard, I think it's looking a little different.
That's fair.
Again, though, he was low. Those were picking. Unfortunately, Shane, that was huge. Okay, anyway, best tradesman. All right, this is
Not
kind of
me.
all over the board. Smaller margins here. And we have a tie. So,
Ooh, do I get to guess again?
yep. Oh, you want to
Obviously,
guess the tie, the two people,
yeah.
the
Let me
best
guess one.
tradesman? Go
Yeah,
for it.
it's definitely me. I'm just kidding. Uh, let's see who made trades. All right. Well, Shane won worse, so they're not going to give him best, so it's not him. Funk. I'm gonna go Funk because
Okay.
he trade raped me for McCaffrey.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go Funk, and on that one I'll go Dan. Yeah, because he had a lot of trades that worked out.
Brent, you want in on this, buddy?
No, because I definitely flip flop this. Like, I viewed this as like who got like the best trade and who had like the worst trade kind of thing.
That's fine. That's
Mm.
allowed. That's allowed. Just because
Mm-hmm.
Josh is saying this is the way he voted, other people voted like that, Brent. So it's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, gotcha. That's why I had Justin a little bit lower because of the Debo thing and the
Yep.
other situation.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get to use them, so that's why he was lower.
Correct.
Uh, but for this one, I had Shane because I thought Shane has improved his team quite a bit. Ingram just went off, and it seemed like as he made the trade, he got to really use those guys. So that's why I put Shane.
Shane did get a really. Shane has really made some good trades in his favor this year. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
100%. And I think that's the one thing, just so y'all remember, the trades that go through at the end of the day, no one I think complains about. They're all pretty even. Well done. Well done this year, boys.
yeah.
Everyone did a great job. But some of the offers you guys send are dog water. That's where I think where the
Well, see,
that
that's
comes.
where I think like the sending them, yeah, they can be dog water, but as long as you're willing to like work on both
This is
sides,
dog water. Yep.
yeah, work with the dog water, and then eventually come up with some, champagne or something that works out for everybody. But
Right.
yeah, if you're just keep sending the same dog water, that's when you are trash. Yeah.
That's Jade sent me some very interesting trades. I'll say it. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Like insulting me. Like he wanted to just insult me one day, so he texted me and he said, "Hey, how about that? Like a fuck you." I'm like, okay.
Well, and that's the funny part, and I have a little more respect for Shane because of it. Is like he'll send me a trash offer, and I'd be like, Shane, this is absolute garbage, and he's like, yeah, I know. I just wanted to see if you would accept it or something like
You
that.
gotta
It's like okay, at least you're honest with me. I can respect that.
there's
Not any of this
100% of
like
the shots you don't take.
exactly
Right.
none of this salesman bullshit or whatever. So, anyways, who are these two teams? Sorry, who
You're
are
right.
these two
Dan and
people?
Funk, congratulations. You are
Nice,
tied for best tradesman of the year. You will
well
have to
deserved.
rock, paper, scissors to see who gets the award, and I will send it out
No, you
ASAP.
should just split it in half and send half to each one.
It will be split in half. It will be
No,
split in half.
I think those are well deserved for sure. Those two.
I
I think
agree. And
Funk did a
again,
lot
amazing
better job
job.
of capitalizing.
It was good to see. I think the amount of injuries this year really helped trades because
Dude,
goddamn
crazy.
everybody was getting injured.
Especially, have
Plus in
you seen
hands.
like the list of like quarterbacks that
What quarterbacks? They don't exist anymore. They all died this
no
year.
that are out for the year? It's like ridiculous, man, crazy.
Getting
So,
paid. All of them just sucking in the team's money and sitting down.
did
Regardless.
you see? Did you see real quick? Did you see the on Sunday or yeah last night's game? They were showing how Joe Burrow's injured, but he's like on the sideline, helping his backup QB or whatever. And then they did side by side of Joe Burrow doing that, and then there's Deshaun Watson in the fucking suite just sleeping during the game and shit. And they're like,
Probably
"This is
getting
the
a
difference."
massage, dude.
Right, probably.
It's just like this is the difference in quarterbacks right here. It's just that's
That's
like, hey, they didn't have to do him dirty like that.
Oh my god.
the
All
media
right.
wants them out. The media wants them
Oh, for
out.
sure, for sure. All right, what's next?
All right. We're gonna move right along to the hottest team going into the playoffs this year. Again, pretty consensus around three people here. But the hottest team going into the playoffs this year, award trophy, goes to Machiavelli with a staggering 5 votes. The league supports him.
Yep. His the fucking his trio had an awful game
I know.
last week, and he still put up fucking 120.
Eckler's struggling.
Herbert's
Fucking
struggling.
Eckler's struggling, and Pollard learned how to play the game, and yet everyone still votes him the hottest team going into the league, and that's fair. That's fair. I can't disagree.
That is fair. Yeah.
Nate was a close second with 3 votes.
Nice.
All right, let's see. Manager of the year. We're just gonna go right to it here. Manager of the year. So this was Dan.
All right,
This was
that's enough.
a
Let's
large.
just
This
go
was
to
a
the
large
next one.
majority vote.
Let's just go to the next one. We don't need to go
Dan,
more.
tremendous job going through those 6 cupcake games, but then figuring out how to improve your team at every corner with those injuries.
Yep.
You played waivers great, as Josh said earlier, and he made a
And he made
blockbuster trade that really
that
worked
worked
out for him
out
in the
for
end.
him. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
He's well deserving of that title. Well done. Now, before we do worst manager of the year, we're going to do MVP because there was again some confusion. I specifically didn't send out really any specificities to what and why you were voting on someone. I wanted you to figure that out yourself. I thought it'd be more fun. So Dan got 6 votes for manager of the year. I sent out MVP. Most people understood where I was coming from. Some people did not, and that's fine. Mac got a resounding 6 votes for league MVP. So starting, and I guess just say if he listens, Mac, starting from the beginning, you've been balling out. You had a great draft. You haven't suffered much to have to worry about the waiver wire. You calculated this league. You calculated the league.
I was not expecting 6 votes for a person.
6 votes for Mac.
Hey, he deserves it. I didn't know that's the route we were going, but
No, I'm very aware. I'm very aware. So
Wait,
there's.
where are we supposed to go with? Because I put Mac.
You
Mac
did
is my
good.
MVP.
Brad, you did. I agree. There's again some people might.
I assumed he meant fantasy MVP player.
Correct.
Why would we?
Correct. So did.
But this is the awards for us. So who does that award get sent to? We send it to that player?
Well, the person who has that player.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Who owns that slave? That person over there? Who
So
is
who'd
that
you pick,
person?
Laporta? You picked Laporta. Smart.
Obviously,
But
Laporta.
so then that doesn't make sense. Like, wouldn't the best manager be the MVP?
Yes, that's why I had Mac twice. You're correct.
Mac, yes, he had him twice. So again, I didn't send out any specificity. So Dan has the same. I talked to Dan for 2.5 hours on this. 2.5 hours on this one subject.
And why didn't you
Good,
correct me,
good.
Craig? You just let me look stupid and pick fucking Keenan Allen.
That's fine. I was
So I
gonna
guess
Which
say,
is
in a way I
good.
picked
It's
Mac. I
both.
guess in a way I picked Mac.
you picked Mac. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
fine. I didn't actually count that. He would have 7 votes if I counted that. So that's even more votes. You know, you could have looked at it either way. I think there was, again, some people thought, Dan included, that MVP, like the manager and player are the same, blah blah blah. And I said, just try to think of it as like, one category is like, Izzo and Harbaugh or whatever, right? And that's who you vote the top guy for coaching, and then think of like, I said like you're LeBron and Max MJ. You know what I'm saying in terms of players? And he's like, that doesn't make sense. You can't be 2 people at once. Like, use your fucking imagination and just step outside from both categories. Like, no, it doesn't make sense. He wanted both. Dan wanted both. He thinks he's well deserving of both, and that's fair. He's been doing good. But Dan, you are the manager of the year. Congratulations. We'll send that. Mac, you are the
Mac.
MVP of the league. I'm glad most people understood what I meant. So, no, Josh doesn't still. So there's some confused people. I will say the runners up here are Keenan Allen, Dak Prescott, and Mostert. And I can tell you the 3 people who didn't understand what to do here and what to vote for. And that's fine. I get the confusion because I did not add anything. But that's the beauty of it. That's the fun. So,
like I said, I'm just struggling with, same with Dan, like the difference between manager of the year and MVP. Like,
so I guess I've been trying to think of a way to put this, and I've been going over my head because I know the question was going to be asked, and I tried to explain it to Dan. I guess I'm just saying, like, from day one, from the draft, from everything, Mac has been pretty stoic. He's been pretty confident in his team. He has been playing great. He's been scoring. He's been doing all that, right? No one has really questioned Mac. Dan's team has.
So you're going to MVP set is most valuable player
of the league.
So, but when you say MVP, the Dallas Cowboys don't win MVP.
Correct.
Dak Prescott wins MVP. So in your scenario, Mac is the team and his players are the players. So Mac wouldn't be MVP. He would be best. He would be best team, and then a player would be his MVP.
So look at it as fantasy football as a board game, and Mac is the player. Is that easier to picture rather than the NFL? So we're not, the coaches, and then think of the manager of the year as you being a coach or whoever was the coach of the team at that point.
Craig, but
Does that make sense?
Imagination, so.
Dude, Dan can get it,
but it's like I said, I get it, but as Craig once said, you don't understand the MVP says most valuable player. So like I said, if it's manager, so you should have just said like best team or something like that, because then that would be different from manager of the year.
That's fine.
Where
I didn't.
I guess it's just the wording of it is what confused me, because MVP, I assume it's player.
That's fine. I wasn't going to. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think some people, again, it's just all how you thought about it. 6 people understood what I meant, so that's okay. Again, it's confusing. I didn't attach anything to it, and that's kind of the randomness and fun of it. I thought if I were to attach certain things to it, it'd be more objective, and it's like, okay, like out of these 3 teams, who's better? In a way, someone voted for you, Josh. Someone voted for you for manager of the year. I'd like you to know that. I'm not going to tell you who, but somebody voted for you.
No, tell me, please. Tell me.
No,
I'm gonna send that person.
You can be nice to everybody. One person voted for you for manager of the year.
Well, thank you, whoever that was. If you want to come forward,
if you were to ask anybody the way you're telling me about MVP, like, well, why would he be manager of the year? That makes no sense. Like, it's because it's someone's opinion. It's just someone's own opinion.
I'm not arguing for me to be a manager of the year. I mean, that's why I appreciate this person for voting for me. It's probably my mom. I don't know.
God bless her soul. Your mom would be too. All right. But regardless, Mac MVP, Dan Manager of the Year. So great teams, boys. Great job. Cupcake schedule,
Yes.
Dan.
Yeah,
All
good
right. Let's
cupcake
see.
schedule.
That leaves us with the last worst manager trophy. This one kind of took. It's someone voted for Dan. I don't know who it was, but that's hilarious.
That's a
I don't know who it
Justin
was.
troll job. That's a
Probably.
Justin troll job for sure.
But this was a tie as well. This was on a 4-4 vote, made it a tie.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna let. I'll just tell you, it was Josh and Funk.
Oh damn.
And I guess you could look at that a couple different ways.
Right.
But I was on the list too. Someone said I was the worst.
Me, me,
And
me, me, me.
it's you piece of shit, dude. And then someone's yeah. So I mean, you guys have. I would say this year everyone has made a much better stand. I think again, injuries forcing people's hands to make trades made this year
Well,
very stressful and fun, but stressful.
yeah. I would say it's very easy to call someone else worst manager of the year when you're not facing the most points in the league and dealing with injuries in game, 4 out
You
of
will be
5 weeks
sent
and
your
stuff.
trophy in the mail.
Nice.
I will deliver
A
that to you. I'm
trophy.
going to deliver that to your house. You live close. I'm going to walk that shit over to
Different
your house.
trophy. Don't forget to give Funk his half, all right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't the full
Split.
worst manager.
And let's be real. If we go back to the start of the year, no one thinking the Jags going to suck that much funk. You got
Yeah,
Rob,
got
dude.
dogged,
Lawrence, you got
Yeah.
dogged.
I was high on so many of those
Ridley,
boys.
and Lawrence.
Mm.
Also, I'm glad I didn't trade for Lawrence. God, he just got injured. Everyone's getting injured. It's insane. But those are the awards.
Yeah.
Thank you all for participating. Really appreciate all you boys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess.
Yeah. That's
Sorry,
good
Josh and Dan,
participation.
and I'm sure Justin at this point on the confusion about MVP. I get it. We won't do it next year. We'll take that one off
We'll
the
give
list.
examples next year.
We'll give examples.
Oh, I would also say like if 60%, 70% of the league is voting one way, you should at least let us know, like, hey, just so you know, this is what I meant. Does this change your
So I
thing?
would have, Josh.
Because then it's not.
I
Go
would
ahead.
have. But Dan instantly texted me and said, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "This makes no sense." And I don't have the energy to sit there and I tried to. I've done this now. This will be 3 hours I've spent. I'm trying to just make you understand. Like, look at it as a tabletop game and you're a player. Who's the MVP around the table? You know?
Well, if you would have said like, hey, I'm not talking about like for me, this is if you're talking to me. I'm not going to speak for Dan or Justin on how they understand. If you would have said, "Hey, I know you said Keenan Allen. What I meant by this was who's the MVP of the league by like owners, like to say,
That's
or
fair.
I
thought it'd be better.
I would have said, okay, cool. I'll change. Well, I mean, I probably would have voted for Mac anyways. But
This
I'm
is
just saying.
true. You
So
probably
I'm just
would
saying
have.
it's
You
not
probably
fair.
would have. You probably would have. Well, who
It's
would
not
you vote for?
fair.
Who would you vote for if I gave it to you as now that you know the situation?
I just said I would vote probably still Mac.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying. I think it's pretty consensus around the league that we all love Mac and we all want to marry Mac.
Right.
He's handsome. He's
But
better
what I'm
looking than
saying,
I'm younger.
it's not fair to say,
But
hey,
he's got good money. Yeah.
He's got
these
good money. He's
people.
got money.
He could take
It's
care of
not.
You seen
It's
that
not
truck?
fair. Yeah, right. It's not fair to say these people don't understand. But then I didn't explain it to them. Well, you explained it to Dan, but like me, you didn't explain it to, so.
You're fine. I don't think when you answered that way, I understood the difference, and rather than correct it, I literally was gonna see how many
Right.
people voted which way.
And that's fair, I guess. Yeah, that's fair.
It didn't really matter at that point.
But I am very happy that everybody participated. And that Craig didn't have to go and threaten your families to get responses like I did, and which made it why I didn't want to do this anymore because it was like
It's
pulling
just the
teeth.
cartel blood in you, dude.
Yeah,
I know how to get shit done around here.
You could take the Mexican out of the cartel, but you can't take the cartel out of the Mexican. Oh, well, is there before we get to our final picks of the year, is there anything else you boys wanted to talk about, bring up?
No,
I will say,
dude. I let him have it already.
I will say real quick,
You piece of shit.
doing these awards did bring back a fond memory of when we did it that one year. Of that was the year that Dan and Shane made that awful trade of Galladay for Mixon, and they both were just yelling at each other about doing the trade back, and neither ended up playing again that year. But it didn't really matter. And Dan and Shane both got, worst trade of the year for that. And Dan was so upset about that, and he was texting people seeing who voted for him and stuff. I was just like, dude, it was a bad trade. Let it go. Like it didn't affect either. I just, that was it. That was just hilarious. I was, and then him almost fighting your mom, Brent. It just all,
Yeah,
it all just
it's
makes
all coming
sense.
together. This is why
Yeah,
we
it just
love
all
fantasy
makes sense.
football.
I was like, oh,
Passion. We have passion. There is some passion here, boys.
I don't.
For sure.
The funny part was Dan was like, no, no, no. Then he saw what it was. He's like, yeah, let's keep it. Good job. But all right, let's get to these picks here. Let me get to the right screen. So we didn't do picks last week because we had the week off. But week 12, I went 4-1 with my record, and of course the only one I got wrong was myself. Records 34-26. B man, you went 2-3. Your record's 29-31.
Damn it.
Our guest Barber went 2-3. Craig, do you want to guess yours?
Oh, and 5.
Nope, 1-4.
Oh, when was this? Did we do
This
this
was week.
already?
This is week 12.
This is the
Oh, 1-5. Dog, man, that's like. Does that make me 9-10 out of the two
I don't
weeks?
even.
Dude,
One
your
for
your
10, I mean,
records.
1 for 10
Your
out of the 2 weeks.
Well, we didn't do picks last week.
I
Neither of you
know.
sent me your picks.
I
So,
forgot. Yeah, my bad.
uh, but yeah, your record overall for the season is now 22-38.
It's
So
dog shit.
you are struggling, buddy.
I'm
Um,
don't choose it with my heart. My heart is obviously corrupt.
I
that's
did that
fair.
1 year. I had to switch it up, dude.
Just go Vegas odds every time.
Hey, we should do that. The three of us should just come up with how to create Vegas odds for each week, and then just say Brandon Craig, Craig's minus 3.5 with over under. Maybe not the over under. I did that the 1 year. That was rough.
Yeah, that
But
was
That
rough.
was a lot of
but
yeah. That was a lot of yeah.
yeah, but a lot. I think just even if it's something stupid and it's not like a legit thing of oh yep, Craig's minus 6.5 on this one. What are we doing
What
here?
are we doing? Taking the house? Taking the
Yeah,
house.
taking
House
the
wins every time, but
yeah. And then we'll get Dan and Shane on here. Oh yeah, no, I haven't missed one yet.
y'all got
Craig,
Shane hooked to gambling, dude. He's gonna sell all his chickens to pay for those debts. He's
oh,
accruing right now.
good.
Make more eggs. I need more eggs.
More eggs.
But he's not betting real money. He's just all he's doing is going down to the market and he's like, I got 15 eggs if you put $10 on
Right.
on the
He's
Lions
telling,
money line.
yeah,
But
yeah.
anywho, let's get to these picks. All right, let's go. Funk versus Barber. Let's start with that one. Cool. Let me get to that matchup here. Oh, I'm on the wrong week. Funk versus Barber. Whew. I don't know. Barber's running backs are struggling with Hall and Javante, man. But Tyreek, Chase, that's better than Ridley and Thielen. Tight ends, I'd say probably a wash. Honestly, the flexes are kind of a wash. I'm gonna go Barber on this one. I just think those wide receivers will be the difference in this game.
Yeah, I can't believe Barber's not gonna. I can't believe he's fighting for a playoff spot. He's got a really good team. Yeah, unfortunate about Brees Hall, but I think Barber wins due to matchups. I think all his studs are gonna ball.
B man, who you going?
Yeah, we were chatting, me and him, about that. He was like, got these studs, haven't been doing anything with them. I agreed with him.
Useless.
Useless.
Those horses will be put down.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Barber this week. I think he pulls it out.
Yeah, that is Yeah, I'm with Craig on that one about like I would not expect his team to be,
Well, I mean,
have
you
a 2.1% chance of making the playoffs. Like
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was like eighth in the eighth spot, but like, if he wins, he's in type of thing or something like that. But like to be basically have no shot is kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where that one website kind of like keened in on something, or if he had Dan's schedule, he'd be like 10-3 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
That's
Hmm.
hilarious.
it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. Let that sink in.
Although, yeah, if I'm Barber listening to this, I'd be pissed hearing that. Like, if I
Right.
only would have had, because if you think about it, if I had one of 9 other schedules, I'd be in a lot better shape than I am now.
My mom had wheels, she'd be a bike.
Right? See, your problem, it ain't got no gas. Let's go Nate versus Shane. Nate versus Shane. I'm going Shane on this one because I need Shane to beat Nate. So I'm going Shane. And his team's been pretty hot lately. So not even gonna look at matchups, just going for it.
I kind of have to agree. Shane's team's been a little hot, so I'm gonna go with Shane.
Just do hot teams. Hot teams.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
hot,
do
hot.
think, I don't think Henry's going to play. He might, but I don't think Henry plays. I don't know. If he plays, I don't know. I
Why
don't.
would he not play?
Well, I know he's not too banged up off that play that just happened last week. I thought, he's questionable still in the app, but I know they said he's like not in a concussion protocol, anything like that. Like he's fine, and he's a giant man, so he'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
But like Achan showed out, he's getting better. Both decent run defense, but if Henry's questionable, he plays Achan with the way Purdy's been playing. He's got so much. He's got a hot team. Nico Collins' target share about to go up now that Tank Dell goes down. I don't mind. Sorry, my bad. I don't mind Jordan Love. He's been hot too, but
Well, and I will say this too, though. Nate's team, it also depends a lot on the weather that Dan shared. If that stays accurate,
a lot of wind
that's
I see over there.
a lot of wind and rain. So, like, you got, St. Brown and DJ Moore both playing in that kind of weather. You got Nico Collins at the Jets playing in that weather to where the Jets are already a good defense. And then if you add that in, like, how much are the teams really going to be throwing? And,
I
so
just
those are
don't think
factors that he has to look into as well.
true, but I think that's his best lineup. I don't think he can do anything different. I think he's got to play him.
Well, that's true too. I mean,
I don't think it affects. No wonder Shane got rid of. He's got people versus Dallas. No wonder he didn't want to play him.
Yeah, I mean, he could play Achan. He has Achan on his bench right now.
True. Did this guy flex
Over
go dare last week? Am I tripping? Flex
Shane?
Ingram? Yeah, he's not gonna be able to play go
Yeah.
dare, so he's gonna have to move his
No,
flex up.
he
T
changed
Higgins
that
has been
this
balling.
week.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Well,
changed
yeah.
that this week.
I think Nate's gonna get. These are two hot teams. Hot team.
Hot team.
Hot teams.
Too hot tea. So you're going Nate, you said?
Yeah, I think Nate clinches it. He's hot. Hot team.
Yeah, you better clench those cheeks, Nate. Coming up the rear. Mac versus Justin.
Look at these hot teams.
Justin's team hasn't been so hot lately.
Well, he's been scoring. He's just not been winning. Poor guy.
Yeah, must suck, doesn't it? Not getting cupcakes every week.
Oof. Get him.
Get
Got him.
him.
He might finally be able to use Walker, maybe. But I don't know. I think that triple stack rebounds. God, Mac just like whoever he plugs in, they just do good.
I didn't think about. I wonder with Lawrence. How long? Lawrence is supposed to be out for a while now, too, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
That's
I
gonna
mean,
suck for ETN. That's
I
unfortunate.
don't know. They haven't ruled him out yet. So, but if
I
he,
can't remember what happened to him. Was it his? This is
they said it's a high ankle sprain, which usually is like 2
3 weeks.
to 4, 2 to 4 weeks
Uh,
type of injury, but they're not ruling him out yet. So
That sucks
I don't.
for ETN, dude.
But yeah, I mean,
I got to give it to, I'll just ride the hotness with Mac.
Same.
Oof. I'll go Justin. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here.
Machiavelli. I think he's hot. Hot, hot,
Is
hot.
he the chosen one this year?
He'd be who I'd put my money on.
I know, but like the thing is, though, I feel like these type of teams don't win it usually. They'll like
That's true.
walk away winner
Our league has
we
a history of that.
we thought that was Barber last year. Remember, like
Ugh,
going into the
don't
playoffs, we
remind
were
me.
like,
Ugh,
It's also been a
we were
year
like,
where there's been an
gross.
absurd amount of injuries.
right.
I don't think he's had very many, so he's got some
I
fresh
was
studs.
I was gonna say though, his team hasn't really dealt with us, so then you kind of worry like, are the gods waiting for the playoffs to get them? You know, like
If there's any god that exists, it's a fantasy god, and he is not merciful. It is
right. That's what I
terrible.
said. Is the fantasy guy going to get them? You know.
Yep.
But I also went Justin because I didn't want the clean sweep, and that usually goes means Justin's gonna win. So we'll see. But I would rather have Justin win and Dan not win the division than Justin lose and give Dan a chance at the division. Yeah, by the way, Brent, if I were to pull off that miracle, you would be the one getting relegated, sir. So
Ah.
that's what I was saying. There's a chance I'm not relegated. It's a point
Okay.
zero 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 one chance, but
Yeah, you.
you're telling me there's a chance. Might be, I'm gonna hold on to that till probably like Sunday night. Then I'll lose all that hope, but that's okay. All right, let's go to Dan versus myself here. I'm going myself because I need to win. Um, and I also have a surprise in store that I'm gonna do. I'm debating if I should tell you guys it or not. That I
Do
think
it.
will
Do
that
it.
I think will help negate Dak Prescott a little bit. I think I'm gonna pick up Brandon Cooks and play him.
Oh.
That would be a surprise. That was not someone I'd be gunning for.
Yep, he
That would be hilarious.
because here's my
I
thought
see.
process.
I see it. That's not bad. Go ahead.
Well, so obviously, but like I did some math in their home games because they're in Dallas this week. In their home games, Dak Prescott throws on average 3 touchdowns a game, and of those three, 1.8 on average go to Lamb or Cook. So they both combine for like 1.8. So if he throws 3 touchdowns and two of them are to my players, that only helps me. You know, I mean, obviously he'll have 1 touchdown, but that also means my team's, and it kind of negates Dak a little bit. And that's probably going to be a high scoring game. My wide receiver 2 has been getting me the same anyways, and I like the upside of Cooks more than Garrett Wilson or Rashee Rice at this point. So, and what do I have to lose? I'll miss the playoffs, get relegated. Not much on the line.
Can you imagine if you pull it off, you win, Bren loses, you make it to the playoffs, and then you verse
Mm-hmm.
Dan, and then you do the same thing twice, and you knock him out round one with
With the
with a double
sickest counter
Dallas.
move ever
That would
seen
be
in the history of
they
fantasy
would
football.
strip him of manager of the year right there and give it to you. I think everyone would agree. If that play worked out and it worked twice in a row, oh my
100%.
god.
Oh
Well, that's why I
man.
thought it was funny. Shane earlier in the week was like, oh, I want to tank so that I could face. I think it was you, Craig. He said or
Respect, yeah,
whatever.
respect.
Yeah, and then Dan was like, "Oh, be careful when you do that." And then Dan today, like, I hope I face. I need Josh to win so I can face this person. Like or whatever. It was like, no, that's not happening. Anyways, who you guys go? Now
Between
that you know
Dan
my
and
plan,
it's an interesting plan. It
It's
very much is an interesting plan. I unfortunately don't think it's enough to stop the freight train. Let me see real quick before I keep talking.
I think you
Hmm.
got him. I think you got him, Josh. I'm gonna pick you, dude.
let's go.
I mean, your four stack is pretty like Zach Moss didn't go off last week. If Zach Moss goes off this week, you got a very scary team with those
Yeah, that was
those front
kind of a
five.
fluke. Like he still had 20 something touches, And there was a couple of the touchdowns where he was like within the 5 yard line, and they just didn't give it to him. So like, I'm not too worried about him.
I wonder if Puka Nakua is going to play. I know he played through his injury last time. I don't know if he'd be all right. That'll be
Right?
big
I
if he
mean,
doesn't
he
play, but
is going to have Jefferson in there.
he
So
will have Jefferson back. That's more scary
that's
next week, though. That's more scary in like second week, I think. But yeah, he could be. Jefferson's a
yeah,
stud. He could come back and be an ace for sure. So
yeah. You just don't know with who the quarterback's going to be. What kind of report they're going to have with Jefferson. Like, I'm not saying he's going to get like 3 points, but he just might
Right.
not be the same Jefferson.
man, it's
I
a
just
tough
like
one. I'm gonna
I
have to
too
give
like
it.
my matchups better. But go ahead. Sorry.
I think a lot. I think his projection. I just unfortunately, I think overall, he's just. I think with Kittle, the way the 49ers playing, and unfortunately with
Dog, I have
like
CMC.
I
CMC, dog.
know, I I know, but
C
like you're tight. I just don't think
L
you're.
C.
I gotta go with
Dog.
Dan. Gotta go with Dan. Sorry, Josh.
That's fine.
I compliment your team. You hindsight, you wish you wouldn't have sold it, but at the same time, you got a stellar front five right there. Njoku's big too. Like you got a solid team. Garrett Wilson, god damn, if they could have just solved their quarterback issue. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like that sucks. So
Well, and that's the thing with how things worked out. Like I said, I keep bringing the Rashad White up. Like, he wasn't a
sure,
top 5 back until literally the week I traded him for Dan. And then obviously
Dan's got good
Garrett
coaching.
Wilson. Garrett Wilson, I thought his quarterback situation couldn't get worse, and so he was fine. Boy, was I wrong. So like that didn't work out. It's like,
Yep.
if I knew things were going to work out, they were the way they would, I wouldn't have made those trades. I wouldn't have dropped Raheem Mostert in week 2 if I knew he was going to be a top 5 back. Like,
Careful with the double stack on the Cowboys because if CeeDee Lamb gets like 40 and Cooks gets like 2, that'll hurt you more. I think then if you had like CeeDee Lamb and someone else viable,
well,
I don't
so
know.
that's the thing. Brandon Cooks is pretty bad when they're away from Dallas. But when they're at home, because they're in a dome and stuff, and they usually score more points, Brandon Cooks is still viable. Like, I did the research. I
I
mean,
believe you. I believe you.
he's gotten 10+ points, and like I said, I'm not getting much from that wide receiver 2 spot, anyways, with Wilson and Rashee Rice. Like, they're doing fine, but the upside's bigger with Cooks.
Sure.
So. And like I said, it's a Hail Mary play. I got to do something. It is what it is. But for sure, if I do end up making it and I end up facing Dan in the playoffs again, I'm definitely gonna run it back and just say fuck it. Really piss Dan off. Last matchup, you two boys here. I want you guys to sell me on why I should pick you. Craig, you go first.
Oh, okay. Okay. Where's my
Sell
matchup?
yourself to me, Craig.
I'll sell myself to you. I have no desire to sell my shit team to anybody right now. Give me a second. Let me look.
Well, then sell
So,
yourself.
Lamar Jackson has no choice but to go MVP mode to keep Baltimore winning games. So the hope is he has to just run the ball more, be dominant, throw the ball more, because he has so many offensive weapons down that it's on his shoulders now. That's why he's getting paid. So Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts is a bum. He's hurt. He can hardly throw the ball. The Eagles suck. It's obvious. Josh Jacobs, top 5 running back, absolute stud. Who does he got? Some guy who got knocked the fuck out last week. Swift is done. He got no RB2. Easy play there. They're playing Minnesota. They're falling apart. Joe Mixon has established himself as a top 3 RB in this league right now. He's a stud. He will continue from this week on to the end of the playoffs. He'll be a top 2 RB. I guarantee it. Cincinnati's getting back on their game. They're getting back on their game. They're hot. They don't even need Burrow. They just needed all those weapons back. T. Higgins about to give the ball to Mixon is what's going to happen.
T. Higgins.
Ayuk gets a touchdown every game because him and Brock Purdy have butt sex. Stephon Diggs, why do I need to say anything? Stephon Diggs and Kincaid are also doing what I just said while catching the ball together, doubling their points. They're the only 2 options out there. And it's going to be Kansas City. Patty Mahomes is going to be struggling. He's going to be throwing picks, having to chuck the ball all day. If he gets some, if he did that last week, if he comes back hot this week, scores a bunch, Josh Allen's going to do the same thing. That's going to be the best game of the year that we see. That's going to be the Super Bowl we see. It's going to be high scoring. High scoring. Jordan Addison's the man. I don't know who my kicker is going to be, and my defense is going to be the Indianapolis Colts. So that's about as good as I can do.
B-Man, what's your counter?
Well, I mean, his matchups are shitty. Buffalo's even shittier. Like, they're probably not even going to make the playoffs this year.
Can I interrupt real quick? This guy who
I
has...
will agree that Ayuk and Purdy are having butt sex.
Thank you. Thank you.
Only accurate information he relayed.
Dude, you have Cleveland, Baltimore, and Dallas. You're going to get your ass raped. What are
I'm
you
trying to sell my team.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, Craig, you had your chance. Let B-Man.
I'm sorry.
Then you can rebuttal.
Oh my god. Let's see what else, dude. He was talking about my horses and that I got in the fucking pen, dude. DeAndre Swift is just one of my thoroughbreds, dude. Barkley, have you seen that man's calves?
Oh shit!
Throw him back in there.
Who
DeAndre
are you putting in?
Who I keep leaving on the bench when he gets all his points. He's got them big monstrous hands.
I was just gonna say, who you putting in for Kirk?
Probably Hopkins.
Okay, that's fair. Yep.
Well,
I'm going out of pure spite here.
Coming the fuck out of there. Their defense is literal a fucking sieve. I don't know who. I fell right for that fucking trap. I don't know who put that in the group chat. And then Nate was like, "Yeah, how could I have dropped them?" And I fucking. I've kept them in for weeks now because of that shit.
If it makes you feel better, B-Man, Kansas City's defense was going off, and then I picked them up because I'm like, oh, they got a great schedule, and they've been getting torched, man. They've been screwing me over the last couple of weeks too. It's ridiculous. But I'm going Bren just because fuck you, Craig. You're my rival, so I'm going Bren.
I respect
Craig's
it.
Gonna get the Craig's gonna get the 7 seed. You know. Maybe 6 if Nate loses. That's right. You're going to get the 6 seed because I'm getting the 7th seed. 12.66 chance, baby. Let's go.
I just want to fight Shane. Let me fight Shane round 1. That's all I want.
I hope you get that. I hope you get. So that means you're going to have to win, though, Craig. Because Shane's most likely going to be the 4 seed. So then you would need to win to be the 5 seed to face Shane. So you better hope that butt sex works for you. You know what I mean?
Always has, always will.
Okay. Well, you boys got anything else?
Tremendous year, boys. Well done.
Tremendous year. Yep.
We clicked this year. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I wonder. I never checked if Marco ever got back to me. But
I'm sure Marco did. He's in there.
Yeah, I'll have to reach out to him. See.
We'll come back.
Yeah, in the off season we can negotiate a contract with Marco for sure.
Really make him want us. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'll wear a shirt that says "Free Marco" or something. I don't know.
Free Marco.
Well, yeah, I mean he's obviously in prison.
Prison Marco.
Yeah, Prison Marco is our manager.
Well, all right, boys. Yeah, it's been a great year. It's been fun, and good luck to you guys.
Fuck yeah.
Good luck, boys.
All right, see you, buddies.
See ya.